assumed charge as ambassador for India in Guatemala in December 2018. He has a career diplomat. Ambassador Mubarak joined the Indian Foreign Service in 2001 and had served in Cairo, Dubai, Jeddah. He headed India's diplomatic mission in Palestine from 2012 to 2014 and was Consul General of India in Jeddah from 2014 and 2016. We are really honored and we are really happy to have you here. We really want to hear and enjoy about biotechnology in India and talk about the projects that we can work together. So I give you the warmest welcome and you have the word.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you. It's really a pleasure and honor to participate in the Biotechnology Congress that's held in Guatemala. I am myself a biologist. I did my master's in marine biology, and I am a great lover of environment and biotechnology and anything that is related to biology. I have a great love for it. Today, I will make a presentation on some of the basics of biotechnology in India and also some things that we can learn about, like India is like, one second, there are some people and somehow I am asked to admit people. So I'm admitting them. I don't know why I am asked to do that, but let me try and make it simple. In India, biotechnology is a sector where we are successful. And there are several sectors which India has succeeded. Yeah. And India is a very young nation. We are 73 years old. And one of the positive things that we do is we share our success with our friends and partners. That is maybe in many in Africa or in Africa or in Southeast Asia, we have partner countries where we share our success stories. This is just sharing of best practices that we do. And biotechnology is one area which I am confident that we can share our best practices with many of our friends, colleagues, and partner countries. So I would now give a gist of the biotechnology sector in India and something that is also linked or something that is, we can work together as India and Guatemala. India has around 1,000 biotechnology startups. Around 250 are well-established, very old startups. But in the last few years, we have more than, with the last count, we have more than 1,000 startups. This is, if you compare with country like an Australia, which is also a great country for biotechnology, but Australia has around 500 startups. But India has around 1,000 startups, and we have a revenue of $11 billion from the biotechnology sector. If you see the biotechnology startup area or arena, it is mostly in the areas of diagnostics, drugs, medical devices. But this is the majority, but we are also into agricultural biotechnology, bioindustry, bioinformatics, and biotechnology services. This forms the rest of it. So basically medicines, diagnostics, drugs is one major area where we are good at. And the second area is agricultural biotechnology, bioindustry, and bioinformatics. This is the broad spectrum of India's biotechnology industry. But to give a background of how India built on this, I will have to give a bit of a background and how government intervention has actually helped India strengthen the biotechnology industry. In the year 1986, when whole world had very limited exposure to biotechnology, India started its biotechnology industry, where a separate government department was dedicated for biotechnology. So this is called the Department of Biotechnology, which India established in the year 1986. They had a simple agenda to promote biotechnology. So what they did is they selected 17 places all over the country, basically linked to universities, and started the Center of Excellence in Biotechnology. So these are basically linked with universities. So this started promoting more research in the area of biotechnology. But what this Department of Biotechnology also did is they established 8 biotechnology parks in cities around India, all over India. That the idea of these parks is to provide facilities for scientists and small enterprises, small business enterprises, where they can develop and demonstrate their technologies and even build pilot plants. So if they have an idea, if they have a smaller experiment, they can come to these biotechnology parks, and then they can work on it and expand their ideas, and they can do more experiments, and even they can take it to a larger scale where they can take it to an industrial scale. And these parks, these 8 biotechnology parks, they had very good setup of scientists who could help the people who come to them. They would give mentorship, they would give guidance on intellectual property rights, and even if it has to be a business plan, they will give guidance on business plan. And if there are proposals for clinical development and exit strategies, they could give this. So if you see, the government played a major role in India's biotechnology sector starting from the 80s, from 86 onwards, through the centers of excellence, 17 centers of excellence which we had, which are linked to universities and academic institutions, and the 8 biotechnology parks, which are basically meant for people, scientists and small enterprises, to develop businesses, to develop it into a business model. So these actually propelled the biotechnology industry in India. Subsequently, what the government or the Department of Biotechnology did is they established an institution called Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. This is again, this was very important body which stimulated, fostered and enhanced the strategic research and innovation capabilities of Indian biotechnology industry, particularly startups. So this, this facility, this research facility called the Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, they allowed startups and biotechnology industry to come to them, and they gave the overall ecosystem and facilities so that people can come do their, experiments and bring it to a larger scale. So I would say that the government of India played a major role in development of biotechnology through their centers of excellence, through their biotechnology parks, and also this assistance council, which was huge and which had all kinds of the scientific equipments where people could come and take it further. Another big advantage for India is its human resources. As you know, India's population is around 1.3 billion people. And what the Department of Biotechnology did is it gave a short-term training course for graduates. If there are graduates who want, they gave a 6 months to 1 year training course so that they can go into the biotechnology industry program. So they will pick up recent graduates or fresh graduates, and they set up this school in 12 biotech finishing schools. It's called biotech finishing schools. Then what they do is the fresh graduates can go there and they can get trained. This became one of the major attractions for R&D centers. So when R&D centers from around the world came to India, Bangalore and other places to set up their R&D institutes, they had the manpower to hire. So because of the Department of Biotechnology has set up this industrial training program for fresh graduates. So this is an introduction I want to give about how governments can intervene in a sector and promote this. This is very simple steps followed by the government of India starting from the year 1986, which has been very helpful in developing the biotechnology sector in India. Now I will start with my presentation. It's a simple presentation, so I will start with my presentation. Okay, like I was saying, India is the third largest biotech destination in the Asia Pacific region, and we have the second highest number of US FDA approved manufacturing plant outside the US. Again, apart from biotechnology per se, India has been in the front of generic drug manufacturing. The USA imports more than 50% of its social security drugs from India. It's basically the majority of them are not related to biotechnology, but also biotechnology is part of it. And India is among the top 12 destinations for the biotechnology in the world, and we have a 3% share of the global biotechnology market. And the revenue that comes from biotechnology is 12 billion. This is slightly a dated figure. It is more than 12 billion US dollars. So these are all taken from the government of India's Department of Biotechnology website and Invest India websites. So these are all authentic figures. And we have more than 1,000 startups, and 260 of these startups are well established startups, which are which are at a very matured level. And we have more than 1,000 startups, as I said during my introduction. And the key sectors, again, if you see, are biopharma, bioservice, bioagriculture, bioindustrial, and bioinformatic, and system biology. And again, this is biosimilars are a very emerging field where India is getting stronger and stronger by the day. Like there is a company in India called Biocon, which sells drugs to Guatemala. It's one drug. It's for cancer. It's called trastuzumab, and this drug was procured by Guatemala from some other Western country some time back. But Biocon could give it at a price 50% of what it used to be imported in Guatemala, and without any change in quality. It is a US FDA drug. Same now Biocon has also got an approval for the insulin called Glargine, from US FDA approved this insulin. And again, this will also be shortly imported to Guatemala. So biosimilars are an area where India started investing from for a very long time. And we have around 50 plus approved biosimilar products, and around 1 billion. This is a dated figure, but now it is like 1.2 billion is the value market size of within India itself. And we are exporting this trastuzumab and insulin Glargine to several countries. Again, coming to vaccines, India produces 60% of the world requirement of vaccines. Here it is written India meets 40 to 70%. But it's a huge market. $30 billion is the market value of the vaccines around the world. And India plays a key role in this, because several of the vaccines that are approved by WHO are produced in India. So coming to COVID, and again, whether India produces it directly or whether it does with a Western institution in collaboration with Western institution, Indian companies will play a major role in production and distribution of vaccines, because we have the network, we have the infrastructure, and we have the logistic requirements in India for handling vaccines. Again, regenerative medicine is something India is picking up. Again, this is related to tissue engineering, then stem cell therapy and various other therapies. Again, India is trying to master it, and we have the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology in Hyderabad, where several such researches are happening in regenerative medicines. Contract manufacturing, again, like several of the MNCs around the world give contract manufacturing to companies in India because of the capabilities Indian companies have in biotechnology. Again, coming to clinical research, again, India is a major place, like for the very reasons that I told, manpower, having infrastructures and all. There are several clinical trials conducted by Indian companies and multinational companies in India. Again, now coming to bioagriculture, this is again an emerging field which will have a major impact around the world and in Latin America. We are now trying to go away from chemicals and chemical fertilizers and pesticides, and we are trying to move towards biofertilizers and biopesticides. And this is going to be a key area, which is like, again, in India it's a $11 billion industry, and the segments are primarily hybrid seeds, then if you say genetically modified crops, biofertilizers and biopesticides. Again, India has been, we recently did a virtual biosellers conference with between Indian companies and Guatemalan companies or Central American companies, and there was a lot of interest in Central American companies to collaborate with India or to buy products like biofertilizers, biopesticides, and hybrid seeds from India. Again, biofuels. Again, this could be a great, with the target of reducing pollution through fossil fuels. This is something that India is working on, and this is multiple objectives. Not only energy security, but also it will help us in import substitution and to have a cleaner environment. Enzymes, India has long been a player in enzymes, but of course, North America and Europe are the major players. But slowly, India is also trying to work on enzymes and increase its market share on enzymes. Biopolymers, again, India produces a lot of plastics, and now we are working on biopolymers to reduce the dependence of I'm trying to admit people who are waiting in the waiting room. Just okay.
Don't worry, we will do that. Don't worry for that.
Okay,
Thank you
okay,
very
okay.
much. Thank you.
Okay, so then coming to bioinformatics, genomics, and precision medicine, this again, there are a lot of centers in India which are focusing on these sectors. And we have that these like the parks I said developed by the government. Now the private sectors are also coming into this concept. They are also developing biotechnology industrial parks in collaboration with the industry. Like I come from a city called Chennai, which is in south of India. In the year 1999, I went there with a project when I was doing some of my research. I was a junior research fellow. And I went there to a lovely facility established by a company called SPIC. So it provides from mass spectrometers to lyophilization. It gives all the facilities there. You can go choose an equipment, you can have a mentor, and you can do your experiments. As a very, very simple researcher, even I had an access to a world-class facility which was run by SPIC, a major company in south of India. So now these companies are expanding its scope in India. And again, coming to big data, India is a leader in IT outsourcing. Even in Guatemala, India has like 3 companies, be it Genpact or 24/7 or HCL, which employ thousands of people in the area of IT outsourcing. Now, big data in bioinformatics and genomics and will provide a lot of opportunities for Indian graduates and Indian outsourcing industry, where again this can be India can play a major role in global big data resource requirement. Yeah. So now, I will, another 2-3 slides I will try to sum up. Now we are coming up with a pharma city where companies can set up their pharmaceutical industries and which they will get all their benchmark standards that are there. And it's like a plug and play facility. Everything, the ecosystem is there. The companies have to come and start their business. This is and they can be it bulk drugs manufacturing or fermentation projects or synthetic drugs or vaccines. This facility is the new facility that is coming up, and it is providing opportunities for companies from around the world to come and open their industry in Hyderabad. It's a South Indian city which is popular for IT and pharma also. So that is the new thing that is coming up. And India's top IT companies, like I said, Biocon is one company which has really done well, and they are already exporting their biologicals or biosimilars to several several countries around the world. And when it comes to COVID, there is a company called Bharat Biotech which has developed a vaccine called Covaxin, which is an indigenous product, and this product has reached the phase 3 trial in India. It has for the last and now they are taking it to human trials. And also we have another company called like Serums India, which is collaborating with Oxford to bring their vaccine for mass production. And there are the other companies that are indicated are some of the best companies we have on the biotechnological industry. Like again, if you see, this startup really has taken people by surprise, because several startups are emerging, and you also get you get a lot of funding from companies like SoftBank in Japan, and US companies which are ready to be venture capitalists and fund these kind of startups. So if you see in India, the bio research is the best startup, followed by bio IT, bio industry, bio agri, and bio pharma. So a lot of new startups, people who are graduating from biotechnology and other areas, instead of looking for a job, they form small groups, and they are coming up with ideas to establish startups. And thankfully, they are also getting funds to take these startups to next stage. So this will be my last stage, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity. I thank you all. Thank you very much. And in case if I can contribute something more, I will be happy to.
Thank you very much, dear Ambassador Mubarak, for this presentation. We have kind of questions. So how can India help us as Guatemala or as a Latin American region to improve our startups of bioentrepreneurship here? Because we are really at the bottom of the line. We are not running any startups. So what kind of help could India help Guatemala?
See, at the outset, what I would say is, we have a program called iTech program. It is a scholarship program for all around the world. We have like more than 100 partner countries, and in India we have around 100 institutions that are offering scholarships. But there are among the 100 institutions, there are 3 or 4 institutions which are offering scholarships in biotechnology. So what we can do is, we can train people from Central America or Guatemala, take them to India and train them. So this is in the area of biotechnology, or in the area of startups, how to establish a startup. We even have scholarships of such kind. Or on the contrary, if you have a very specific area where you would like to have collaboration, then we can even bring an expert from India. I used to tell this, like in a country like a Fiji, Indian scientists have gone there and taught them how to use this coconut tree for different purposes. In Fiji, it was just used for drinking coconut. Then now they produce coir mats. They have diversified so many things because of the collaboration that they have with India. So likewise, we can even bring an expert from India if there is a proposal from the biotechnology, center here, that if you want a specific expert or a specific an expert from a specific field to come and teach you, then we can bring him for 6 months or so, and then we can make them teach. These are the things that I think is very easily can be done. But if there are more ambitious proposals, if we get a proposal depending on the matrix, like what India is capable of, we can match the capabilities and we can always make a proposal. These are ready-made iTech scholarships. Bringing people from India or sending scholars from here to India is easy, but in spite of it, if you have any more proposals, we are open to it. We can send this proposal to Delhi, get it approved, and we can do any kind of collaboration. So many countries we have been doing this with.
Thank you very much. That sounds like really excited that we can make this kind of collaboration, even with students, professionals, with entrepreneurs that wants to develop something and create more job opportunities here. We already have like another question here at the chat. They talk about how to apply to this scholarship, and Suraj already answered at the chat. So anyone, if you have questions, they already put the link on it. And we have a question from Alba Gonzalez. She said, among all the biotechnology discoveries and startups in India, which one can be considered as the most significant one?
Like I said, Biocon is the leader. Biocon is the leader of the industry in India. They have like manufacturing facilities which can compete with any European or American companies there. In fact, Mylan, which is a company from the US, is starting to collaborate with Biocon on this. Biocon started as an enzyme producing company in the 1980s, and again for women in Guatemala, to say that Kiran Mazumdar is the head of the company. She's a lady. She started that company in a garage of her own, and now it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
very encouraging factor. So if you ask which is the best, it is Biocon. We have several success stories from government established or Department of Biotechnology or in universities, but Biocon is a purely private enterprise. They of course got support from government. They of course collaborated with several institutions around the world, but it is a leader in biotechnology as far as private industry in India is concerned. Like I said, they export a biosimilar or a biologic drug which can be treated, which is treated for breast cancer in Guatemala, called trastuzumab. And they are also exporting drugs to US. They have a biological, which is like a very complex drug which can give a long-acting insulin called glargine. So they again they are like in the very high-end technology. Biocon is in at a very high-end technology.
Oh, thank you. And if we want to work with Bicon and we want to bring the biosimilars or the vaccines here in Guatemala, what do we have to do?
See, these are like we have two parts, which as an as a diplomat I can see two parts. One is a private sector which engages with private sector in India. Like when I came here, I was not even aware that Biocon exports this drug. One drug, it is like $1 million US is the value every month they export. Like 12 million US they export here. This is between private sectors, but anybody who wants a connection with Biocon, we can put them in touch. But ultimately, this is between industry. They will have to. There are a lot of supply chain management, because these are all very they. I was talking to a colleague here. They said how it is exported, how these temperatures are controlled, how it comes in refrigerator containers and all. It's complex. So we can put people in touch with each other, and then they can take take it to a logical conclusion. So that is as far as private sector is concerned. But when it comes to like government sector, Department of Biotechnology and all, we can always it is because a part of the government, we can tell them to include you or any member who is interested in a particular program or a project. That can be done.
Thank you very much. We have another question here. Gabriela says that it was an excellent presentation, and she's asking, how is biotechnology regulated in India? Is there a ministry, or there
Yeah.
is a special responsibility for this regulation
Yeah,
and
so
financing?
this is what I was telling in bigger like ministries are huge, but under the Ministry of Science and Technology we have a department. It's like a smaller ministry. In 1986 we established this Department of Biotechnology, which was responsible. I know at that time it was very few countries started. So we had a very visionary prime minister who was instrumental in bringing this Department of Biotechnology, which came with this vision that they should have 17 centers of excellence. This was in 1986. 17 centers of excellence which will be linked with universities, and 8 biotechnology parks. The centers of excellence were working with universities, while the 8 biotechnology parks were giving scientists and industry an ecosystem and a space to come and work with and take their ideas to the second level, manufacturing level. They can do all this, and these biotechnology parks were also staffed with scientists, people who will tell about how you can do this patents, how you can they will intellectual properties, how they can be done, and even business plans. If people, many of the scientists, if they don't have a business plan, they will tell them how to prepare a business plan. And if people want to take it into clinical development, they will teach you how to take it into a clinical development. And if some companies are started and if they think if it is not sustainable and they want to exit, they even give you exit strategies. So this is how government through the Department of Biotechnology has helped biotechnology industry in India.
Thank you. And related to this, there is another question that says that if this movement of this Department of Biotech was inspired by scientists and academia or was a government idea?
It is a combination. Like I said, in '86, we had a very visionary prime minister who met few scientists who gave him this idea that, we should have a Department of Biotechnology to promote biotechnology. They said biotechnology is going to be the future. Like all these generic chemical medicines and all will go away. We want biosimilars, biologicals, all these long-lasting targeted medicines will become the future. So then, that is how it started as a collaboration between the government and the industry.
Thank you very much. And here in Guatemala, we have like a challenge with transgenic regulation. So how do you educate the population there in India that they are more comfortable with biotech and transgenic things?
See, I think it is like now if you see if it is like a biosimilar insulin or something, the industry itself is very strong, and they have a very good partnership with chains of hospitals. So the moment a doctor or somebody is going to advise you that there are no there are no side effects or this is safe, and then people generally tend to take these advice from experts seriously. Now even we have this stem cells, that's again becoming very, like, if everyone who gives a birth now want to store the stem cells and keep it. Now this is becoming because when they meet the doctor, the doctors do tell them that if you do this, it's an advantage in future. It might help you if there are some genetic disorders and other things. So people actually do that. So I think it is less of a government intervention in such things and more of an industry driven information that is reaching the public through the experts and advisors.
Thank you very much. I think we have a lot to learn from you. You were like having this vision from 1986. That's a lot of time here in Guatemala. We just starting like almost 40 years late. So we are really glad to have you and have this opportunity to talk. I don't know if anyone has any more questions. This has been really like nutritionish. I don't know how to say, like really rewarding to hear you and know that we have these kind of opportunities, not only as a training, but like people from experience can show us the way. We need to learn from your mistakes and improve to have more like quickly results here in biotech. We are working as a commission, we are working with students and professionals, so I think we can develop bigger projects. And I think we can improve these connections with training and more scholarship for our people in this region. So I don't know if anyone has another question. If it's not, you have already the link here. Someone?
Yeah, a small intervention from my side, just to because there was question on regulation for transgenics. So as Ambassador Sir said, so India, like from industry and people to people collaboration, like we have managed to convince people for BT cotton, BT mustard. So like BT cotton, like biotechnology cotton has been a very successful story in India. So like from 2002-3, like we have been able to, like we have been the biggest exporter of cotton because of the biotechnology industry, like cotton. So it has increased the productivity of almost 10 times. So it's like quite a good story for Guatemala if they want to adapt to BT cotton or BT brinjal, which are like trials are undergoing in India for BT brinjal, and similarly for BT mustards. So this is like quite a good, like some researchers from Guatemala can read about that, how Indian government approach these issues and how they convince the people and the regulatory institutions.
Yeah, I thank my colleague. This is something which I really is very important. Is a very important intervention when it comes to BT cotton. So this is a very important information of how government, there was even some kind of a movement against BT. So slowly people were able to tell them about, when government guarantees them, when tells them the advantage, and it really, caught the imagination of people, and they started adapting to these things. And from our side, we would really love to, place our sense of appreciation to you, Ms. Alejandra Sierra, for being selected as one of the top 100 leaders on biotech. So it's really, it is something that kind of pride for Guatemala and for us too, since we are associated with you. We would love to see more and more such leaders in Guatemala who can come and who can, who can really, really mark, can really become leaders in an industry. This is a very important industry and can provide job opportunities for several people. And we believe that we will see more such people like you. And once again, we would like to congratulate you from the Embassy of India, and from my country and my colleagues also.
Oh, thank you very much, dear Ambassador Mubarak. Your words are really important to me. I'm feeling really motivated, and I know that we are going to keep working together. Mostly with this scholarship, there is a lot of people interested, so I think we can channel this information with Plan and with your embassy, so we can work together. Maybe now with COVID, it's complicated right now to travel, but I think we can, like the first opportunity to travel, we are going to program this kind of scholarship. And thank you very much, Suraj, for the connection too, and to be there and to make the connections. And I think this has been really successful webinar. So we are going to keep in touch. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you, and have a good day.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you. The people that it's connected ready feedback webinar questionnaire there, so you can put this an answer to have your certification of participation. There is the link there. So for the rest of the people, we continue with other webinars. So we are going to finish this link, but you have to connect to the next link and participate in all the day that has been really successful webinars. So if you have any question, please put it on the chat. On our social media, Biotecnología Guatemala at Facebook, Biotecnología Guatemala at YouTube, and we have our mail too. So thank you very much. No sé si alguien más tiene alguna pregunta, tiene alguna duda. No olviden de contestar la encuesta de qué tanto les gustó el webinar y cómo podemos mejorar los siguientes eventos. Qué bueno que les gustó. Y por supuesto, de verdad, como les dije y como estábamos hablando con el embajador, nosotros vamos a seguir trabajando con la Embajada de India. Ahorita no podemos irnos a India por problemas de COVID, pero no más podamos, pues vamos a estar organizándolo desde la comisión. También dan muchas convocatorias desde Plan, y también, como lo puso el diplomático Suraj allí, que estuvo contestando también muy activamente en nuestro chat, puso 1, el link de la embajada, y 2, también los números de teléfono donde pueden comunicarse para que tengan más información, no solo para el área de biotecnología. Ellos apoyan muchísimas otras áreas como liderazgo, diplomacia. Entonces hay varias formas de adquirir scholarships con ellos. Entonces, bueno, terminamos el día de hoy en este webinar y los veo en el siguiente.